Welcome to SharkFarmer TV. My name is Rob Sharkey. I'm your host. I'm coming to you from my farm just outside of Bradford, Illinois. We've had a lot of fun putting this show together. One thing we've learned from the feedback of the people that we featured is that I butcher people's names horribly. It's always been a fault of mine, and I apologize. But life is good here on the farm. We've got the corn and the soybeans popping up in rows, and tonight we get to feature some more incredible people in agriculture. Enjoy the show. Farmer ingenuity is unmatched, and don't at me on this. I'll die on this hill. From shaping impromptu horseshoes out of old car tires to using an old license plate to patch a corn crib. The need to do what you can with what you have has always been a staple in ag. We can weld, we can cut, we can build. Something out of nothing. Well, we all think we can weld. We can definitely cut. Cutting we've got, and hammering. We can hammer, usually with a sledgehammer when a claw hammer will do. But cutting and hammering, and cussing, those we have down. Here's a perfect example of a farmer building a bale squeezer. With nothing more than a few parts and a pile of metal. I'm not sure if he made this to save money or because nothing else fit his tractor. Either way, this is pretty cool. What about an easier way to move around your gates? I'm gonna go ahead and say most farmers have an old running gear tucked away somewhere on their farm. Probably their original roke elevator too, and every fuel tank they've ever owned, ever. And probably an old air tank that has stamped on the side of it, destroyed by 2008. Don't get me started on the 200 seed jackets or 5 bushels of free hats they have crammed in their mudrooms. Oh, that piece of equipment will only go for what it's worth at auction. Well, I can't have that. We'll park it behind the shed for 40 years so we can mow around it. We still have dairy equipment on our farm. There hasn't been cows on my farm for 70 years and we still have dairy equipment around. Farmers were hoarding before hoarding was cool. Here's a farmer with just a simple modification made his workload so much easier. Plus now he gets to brag about how smart he is for not throwing stuff away. How about fabricating a truck so you can fabricate other stuff? I mean, how cool is this thing? If I had that, I would break stuff on purpose just so I could pull up with that bad boy. Honestly, I don't have to try. Stuff just breaks. But it's hard not to hit rocks and stuff when you're looking at your phone all the time. Is autosteer. Speaking of autosteer, this is in the Palouse area of Washington, and it's slightly different from where I farm in Illinois. I was spraying one time on my hilly farm, and I slid just a little bit sideways. I completely freaked out. I'm sure to this guy, it's absolutely no big deal. How do you set an A-B line in a field like that? How can you play Candy Crush when you can't keep both hands on the steering wheel? It's like farming in the Stone Age. Every once in a while, my pointer finger gets sensitive because I've been on my phone too long. Years ago, I found a 4-inch stiletto heel in the middle of a cornfield. I tweeted it and said, I swear the only things I've had out here is a rotary hoe. Well, it was funny back then. This picture is from Carl Armstrong from Ontario. Apparently, the plane engine had troubles and had to land in the field. Thankfully, no one was hurt. It looks like one of those scenes from the Serengeti, though. The combines have surrounded their prey. The plane has unfortunately ventured into their domain, and he will pay the ultimate price. Sadly, there is no escape. They better get him eaten before a pack of silage choppers come and steal their prey. I could totally do those voiceovers for National Geographic. That's not supposed to look like that. A bin fire is the kind of thing that keeps a farmer up at night. That's our income literally going up in smoke. Plus, it's not like you can simply call the fire department and say, hey, come put it out. That thing has got to be hot as Hades in there. I wonder what it looks like inside. These are photos from a different bin fire in 2007. You can imagine the heat. Throw the ring in there, Frodo. It'll be okay. The Eagles will pick you up outside. Reminds me of the Gem and the Holograms episode where they were trapped in a volcano. It was a cartoon in the 80s.
Are you all right? I'm fine.
We better get out of here before this whole place crashes in.
Lots of magma in the 80s cartoons. And quicksand. Most of my youth was fearing magma and quicksand. And cobras. Stupid Johnny Quest cartoons. Are you gonna take me home tonight? Down beside the red firelight. Are you gonna let it all hang out? Fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round. Okay, I won't sing again. But speaking of sexy tractors, so I'm in this bar up in Michigan's Thumb, and I strike up a conversation with another farmer. Before long, we were digging out our phones and showing pics. Not of our families, of our equipment. A 4850 with triple, seriously. I don't care if you're red, yellow, or blue farmer, this will get your blood pumping. Wonder how it turns though, who cares? I challenge all of you to send me pics or video of something more cool than this. You probably can. Now it's time for our moment of aww. Seriously, how cute is this? It's like as high as he can reach. In his wee little boots, little fella.
This week's Machinery Clip of the Week is presented by John Deere.
It's like the magic school bus, except it drives backwards and stabs stuff. Seriously, how freaking cool is this thing? This short bus from hell was built by Henry Dallas, and yes, the stop sign says, "Got hay?" It also says up at the top, "Cool bus," because he took the other letters out. That was funny. We live in such a rural area that all the buses were short. Can you imagine what that does for our kids' self-esteem? When the other kids were joking about the short buses, they didn't even get it. So then that made it even worse. My bus driver growing up was literally the world's oldest man. There was no way he was able to pass a driving test, but that's all we had. He had no idea what was going on behind him, but he would periodically just yell. To keep us in line, I guess. "You kids, put away your hard candy." He used to wave at the telephone poles, too. There is nothing worse than down corn. It can literally take years off your life. I have never picked anything this down. This is like the limbo champion of the corn world. If you have an interesting or entertaining video or picture and you think the world should see us, drop us a line, www.sharkfarmer.com. While you're there, check out What the Farm podcast and the one that started it all, the SharkFarmer podcast. Catch me Monday through Friday at Rural Radio Sirius XM channel 147 at 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central. And follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.